Welcome to the Firehouse, the show dedicated to the brave men and women who serve our community.
Hello, how's everybody feeling? And welcome. I am your host, Chris Moses, and today, sitting with me in the Firehouse is my boy, Darnell Perrien. Did I say it right?
Yes,
I was
you did,
worried
sir.
About
Yes,
that.
you did. I was worried too, but you got it. You had
Perrien,
right on
right?
the money, brother.
There we go. What's going on, brother?
What's
How you
going on,
feeling?
brother? What up, Super? What up, Chris? How you feeling?
I'm good. You call me Super.
I'm
Chris,
just checking.
whatever.
I know it's a
listen,
fire.
yeah, that's funny. It's just for the listeners to know. Everybody knows me as Super, not as Chris Moses, as you all know me as the host, Chris Moses. But everybody else knows me as Super, which is written on my arm for the people that are watching. It's written on my arm.
That's how I met you. Was Super.
Super.
Chris Moses is like, who's this?
Who's
Chris
this
Moses.
guy? Some people don't even know who that is.
I had to write that down on my arm when I came here. Like, make sure I said the right guy.
All good. But listen, we're here to talk about you today. So
Let's do it.
Tell me a little bit about what department you're in, what company, how long you've been in, what ranks you've held. Just tell me a little bit about you and your service as a volunteer, fireman.
Yeah,
And
of course. Yeah, so I started my career this summer would be 20 years.
Wow.
Oof, I know, catching up.
20
years
bro.
ago, a certain fire department. Am I allowed to say fire departments?
Of course.
All right, so
Yeah.
I started 20 years ago in the Freeport Fire Department.
Okay.
Where I held the rank as a lieutenant.
Okay.
Chief dive tender for the water rescue dive squad.
Okay.
Hose 5, shout out to Hose 5, my first home.
Hose 5, what up?
Hose company number 1, where I resigned from, and I transferred over to, I did 10 years in Freeport and resigned out of Freeport, and went over to Unidale for a little stint.
Unidale
for a bit in the rescue company. And now I'm currently a member in Lakeview Fire Department.
Lakeview,
Yeah.
There we go, Lakeview. So that was what I wanted to ask you. 'Cause
Yes.
I wasn't sure. I thought it was Lakeview, but I wasn't sure.
No.
So it's Lakeview.
Lakeview, yeah. I've been in Lakeview about a year now. It's pretty
Okay.
cool. It's pretty calm.
Okay.
That's my volunteer side. Career side, I'm an airport fireman.
Okay.
We respond to crash crews, airplane crashes, I'm sorry.
So what airport?
Republic Airport in Farmingdale.
Republic Airport.
Yeah,
Farmingdale.
that's for
Okay.
now. My next step is MacArthur, if I can get
MacArthur?
there. MacArthur, that's
Is
where
it
I want.
hard to get over there?
It's a
Is that-
civil service test. That's a waiting list, but by me working at Republic, got my foot in the door with all the training that I need.
Okay.
So instead of going out there and interviewing and then have to go through the school and everything and do the training, I already have everything I need to take the test and hopefully interview well and get the job for MacArthur Airport.
That's good. So
Yeah.
that airport fireman, so that's something that a lot of people don't know
Mm-hmm.
of, right? A lot of people don't know about that. In my heyday, I was a fireman on Rikers Island.
Okay.
And a lot of people didn't know
I didn't
about
know that either.
That they even had that. So
Yeah.
that kind of is the same as the airport. Like, you think about it, you would need.
You would need it.
You
Just
need
like, yeah,
firemen
you
there.
need it.
Anything can happen. Fire can happen anywhere.
Anyway.
So what? You know what? Before we even get into that, which I'm going to want to ask you, let's first start with what even inspired you to be a fireman. This is kind of what I kind of start with every single time, because the job of a fireman is pretty crazy. Like,
is.
everybody's running this way, you're running that way.
Yeah.
At what age made you say, you know what, I want to start as a fireman? And you started in volley, right?
Yeah, I started in
So
volley.
you started volley, and then you moved over and said, I want to be paid. So even that's huge.
Yeah.
That some people like myself, I'm like, hey, I'm a volley, but I didn't want to go paid. You wanted to take that next step and
Yeah,
do that.
you know-
So what do you think?
I started as a volley at 18 years old. Again, there was 2 reasons. I worked at Jones Beach State Park, where everybody around me who worked EMS was as a volley. And I said I wanted to do this, and I didn't have the courage. It's funny because the person who got me to knock at the door one day at the Freeport Fire Department was Fitzroy Morgan, who happens to be a
look at that.
commissioner.
We're going to have him on this show, too.
He's a commissioner.
We're setting him up.
in Unidale. We came up together, and he went with me to knock on the door. One of my first firehouses in Freeport, and it was history then. And without him, I probably wouldn't be sitting here right now. So I got to give a shout out to Fitzroy.
Shout out to
I didn't have the
Fitzroy,
nerves. I didn't have the nerves, and he took me. He picked me up. We went in his car, and we were knocking on doors, and then I did it, and here I am, 20 years later.
Look at that.
I know. That's how my
Look at
volley.
that works.
That's how my volley career started, and my paid career started was I was working at state parks. We were hosting the air show, and I saw one of my buddies from Hempstead Fire Department. He was working there, and I was like, "How'd you get the gig?" Yeah, we're hiring. I interviewed, took the quick test, and long story short, I got the job, and I've been there for about 6 years now.
Wow,
So, yeah.
6 years.
Yeah.
So, all right, so with that said, I don't know much about being a fireman at the airport, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of listeners that don't know either. So I need you to walk me through a typical day. Now, for the volleys, a typical day starts on a Sunday. We training, we're doing this. But now, as a paid fireman, this is an everyday gig. So walk me through a shift. And first, what are the shifts? 24?
No, we're not. We're 8-hour shifts. There's 13 of us, and we're only 8 hours because it has to become an agreement where everybody, if we want to do 24s or 12s, all the membership would have to agree to it. We have some senior guys who have.
I'm not working 24.
Yeah, no, they'd rather have their weekends off, and I'm not mad at them because I'm one shy guy of being a senior guy. So I'm thinking like if I become that senior guy, I might keep my weekends too. So it sounds cool now because I'm just a little guy, but like when I become a senior guy, like I might want to keep my weekends too.
Man, the family, and weekends, where everything happens.
And again, that's one of the reasons why I chose the night shifts. Like I'm on nights now, and I go to work, I get out, my kids, I go put my kids to bed, go to work, come home. My kids are waking up for school, and I put them on the bus, and I do my errands during the day.
Yeah.
So,
Well, there's one thing that if anybody noticed, he didn't say sleep.
No.
How about sleep?
Sleep. I mean, we're allowed to get our shut eyes here and there. Nothing crazy at work. We're still, it's never.
Because you said you come from work and then you go right with the kids. You do your errands. Like I would think you'd sleep sometime in there at home.
I get some sleep, and I try. I don't get that much sleep. I can do 4 hours and be good for a couple of days. It's crazy.
A couple of days.
It's because the volley in me. Like you never sleep. The radios are.
Right.
Like even at work, when I shut my eyes at work, we constantly listen to the radio. I can't really sleep well. So it's like even with the volleys, like you got the radio, your pager, and that goes off, it's game on, and you can't get back to sleep after that. So
that's it.
It's like because of the volleys, I get no sleep. This is pure coffee and energy right here.
That's it.
That's
pure
it, man.
It's got you walking through this right now.
That was it, man.
I love it. But yeah, so walk me through a day at the airport at Republic.
Well, depending on the shift, we have 3 shifts there. Our rotations change every week with our house assignments from rig cleaning to house cleaning to. I forgot we have another job, but I can't remember. But we all pretty much every shift, everybody gets on. You check the rigs, check the fuel, check the saws, check the tools. I mean, you wash the rigs. The same old fire stuff. The same stuff that we do in the volleys, we're doing it at work, except paid. And we're doing it more often because we're doing it on a daily because we're paid. Versus at the volley house when you do it, twice a week, maybe a Wednesday, maybe a Friday, maybe a Sunday, depending on what fire department you're in. Because when I was in Freeport, we did it Friday nights when I was in Hose 1. And now that I'm in Lakeview, we do Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings. So it depends on what organization you belong to. But just to go back to the paid, at work, it's an everyday thing. Guys come in, we want to make sure the rig is good to roll. Because, I mean, we have 2 rigs. So one goes down, we have a backup rig.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's always like usually 3 or 4 guys on the shift. Our training days are pretty much Wednesday mornings and Thursday afternoons. We have heavy guys on. And,
So how do you get training at working at night then?
Well, the one thing about the night guys is myself and another guy, one of my bosses I work with, both volleys. So firematically, we're pretty much good. We have one person with us who happens to be new to firefighting, so we can help out with her training and whatnot. But at night we go in, we do what we need to do, and we're on guard. I mean, granted, the Republic Airport, the tower closes at 11, so the entire night it's like free airspace. Their planes can come and go as they please. Wow. They don't have to announce, or they do announce when they're landing or departing.
Wow.
So it's risky. It's crazy. So with us at night, you definitely have to be on your A game.
Your toes.
Because at work during the day, the tower's always telling guys what to do, where to go. Now at night when the tower's closed, and if that pilot wants to announce or not announce, it's up to him or her totally. It's risky at night.
Dangerous. They don't have nothing in play for that.
Nothing. I mean,
I guess if there's not enough, tons of things going on there.
We get a lot of air traffic at night. Believe it or not, we get the Islanders. They fly into our airport.
Okay.
They come in with a 737 during hockey season, and then their guest teams come into the. We got a lot of internationals too. So you get the 737s or King Airs or stuff like that. Lear jets. We get jets that fly in a lot. So and we have a lot of schools there. So. Big up to those guys, and they're
like aviation schools.
Aviation schools. We have at least maybe 6. I could be wrong with the number, but those guys they got to get their night flying in too. So
that's right.
They have to fly at night. It's busy. So again, like we at nighttime, we have to be on our A game. Yeah, that's it for the.
That's
for
it.
The, yeah.
So that's a full day, which to me is and I'm pretty sure to some of the listeners that have never heard of that, that's amazing. It's
Yeah.
like, and it's interesting to do that, to now have to not just look at, actual building that's on fire,
Yeah.
which is really just a box over a box that's
Yeah.
on fire. You're looking at a plane now, and things change.
Definitely, because we go from usually we're pretty much a foam unit.
I was going to ask that. Is it water or foam?
It's both. We do both. Both rigs carry 1,500 gallons of water.
Okay.
Both of water, but we can mix it with the foam or Purple K.
Okay.
Most likely, we're going to go into foam operations if we have a fire, because that Jet A or avgas, which is the avgas, is more dangerous. I can't give you the numbers of the avgas, but right now it's off my head. But that's more dangerous than any fire that I ever fought, man. I'd rather, you could throw me into a whole bunch of house fires, I'll be good. But an avgas fire might scare me.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
It's a bit much.
Talking about that.
Yeah.
20 years, you said,
yes.
in the fire service in a whole.
In a whole.
20
this
years.
This summer, I'm sorry. This summer, count my age.
This summer,
count my
listen,
age.
it's still 20 years. You got 20 years this year. 2024 is 20 years. I got to know. You got stories, man.
Yeah, man.
You got stories. So I need some stories. Let's start with the volleys.
Okay.
I need a story in the volleys. Best fire, or not even could be fire, most memorable situation that happened in the firehouse. Talk to me.
Best fire, I would not to say best fire, but most strange fire was a Hurricane Sandy. Hurricane Sandy. That's something I can think of right now. I'm sure I probably had more, but Hurricane Sandy, man, we were at the firehouse. I was in Hose 1 at the time in Freeport, and we were sitting there, and it was a news channel that came up to us, and they were asking if they could follow us around for the day. We had to ask the village mayor at the time. He finally gave us the okay that they can follow us, and I kid you not, the moment that we hung up the phone with the mayor that we got the okay, go across for the house fire. Fire come from Freeport, house fire down south. It was down one of the south streets, and I'm telling you, by the time we got the rig down there, we had the GI, the government issue flood truck. And by the time we got there, there had to be 6 feet of water. It was Hurricane Sandy, bro. It was
insane.
It was insane. Yeah, I mean,
I remember, man. We were our own fire com. Every department was on dispatcher. Nobody, and they were just dispatching and call after call after call after call. Like, you had to be there. Yeah. And a lot of things that people don't remember, which I'm pretty sure you remember, and the people that did respond in Sandy, the weather, how it was hot, then cold, and it was beautiful weather.
It was disgusting.
It was insane.
It was disgusting, man.
It was especially out there in Freeport.
Yeah, we had the water, man. We had everything.
Seeing a boat at 7-Eleven upside down.
I was watching cars float down the street, dumpsters, ice machines, you name it, like heavy stuff that you couldn't pick up as a person. You just float down the street like it was normal.
Water coming in your rig. I remember we had sent some guys out there to you. We sent our brush truck. Yeah,
you sent your brush truck out,
and they said there was water pouring in the cab.
We lost our brush truck, man. Freeport Hose 1 lost their brush truck because of the heavy amount of water we were getting, man.
It's insane.
It was crazy, but by the time we got to the house fire, man, I'm telling you, I was drained from walking from the rig to the house fire, and just to make the first initial push, it was just like I forgot to throw my Nomex hood over my head. I got in there, and it was just my ears. My ears are on fire, man.
You're like,
so I came out. Yeah, my ears was on fire. I remember just coming out of the building, and I ducked down, and I was in the fetal position. I'm telling you, because this is hot. And I didn't realize I didn't put my hood on. We were just going. I'm fighting water to get to this thing, and I pack up nothing. And I remember just getting out, and my ears are just, guys, like your ears are just bubbling, bro. They were blistering up, and just to fight that fire and just wind-driven fire. That's the only fire I've ever been burned in, so that's why it's memorable to me.
You remember that.
I remember, man. I always
spent some time in the burn unit at.
I really was. I didn't get to the burn unit. It wasn't that bad. It was it wasn't that bad of a burn. It was just my ears bubbling, and it was sandy. We were just running. Maybe if it wasn't sandy and it was that one fire, I might have went to the burn unit, but because
you were like, I gotta keep going.
Bro, my adrenaline was still going. We went from fire calls to water rescue calls back and forth. So it was an interesting storm. It was 100. Yeah, that was the 100-year storm is what they call it.
Yeah.
So it was
that was a time. That was a time that I think everybody in the volunteer services will remember. That if you were responding to that, you'll never forget that.
Never.
And a lot of people, just so listeners know. He was out there, I was out there. Our families are at home.
Mm-hmm.
They're in the dark at home because there's no electricity.
None.
They're at the dark at home. I think the tree fell behind my house. So in the middle of us responding, we pull up to my house, we cut the tree down.
And kept it moving. That's what it was, kept it moving.
She called me. I'm like, hey, it's down. I'm like, all right, I'm over there. We cut it down. I'm back out.
Yeah.
So just understand that, for volunteers, as they're doing what they do, our families are at home while, you know, when there's something going on.
Every single time.
Every time.
Not just Sandy, every single time.
Every
man.
single time?
Every single
That's
time.
right. Just move the mic just a little bit closer.
Sorry.
That's
Got
good.
it.
You good. You can sit back.
All right.
Just move
I
it
bet.
a little closer. So that was volleys.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know something paid. Any memorable situations, any fires? I know everybody wants to know something about a plane fire. Everybody's listening to like.
Well,
plane
believe it or
fires.
not, I've been at the airport 6 years. I've responded to at least 4 aviation crashes.
Okay.
I mean, again, pilot error. You know, it just because pilots got lazy and didn't check on their fuel before they took off.
Okay.
A lot of the crashes we've had have been crashes where there's no fire involved, only because the lack of fuel. We have had a plane. I responded to 3 where we're driving and we're looking for this crash, thinking we're going to find fire or smoke, and nothing. Some guys are just getting the negligence. That word negligence. They because granted, you crash your aircraft, you got to realize it's not just you. You can potentially crash into somebody's house or somewhere. It's dangerous. So like,
and there's other people on the plane. With
sometimes you get people on the plane with them. Sometimes you have just the pilot himself. Again, I've been to several crashes at the airport, coming into the airport, leaving the airport, and it's just we had one guy take off from our airport. He thought he could make it to Jersey or something. He tried to get cheaper fuel out of Jersey, and then when he left the airport,
so it's his own plane.
It was his own aircraft.
Okay.
Pilot 30 was 30 could make it get cheaper fuel. Then I remember just listening to the radio because we monitored the tower during the day, and he was just like, whatever. I'm not repeating the tail number, but just he lost his one engine. So I heard it, and I was working with another member from the Merrick Fire Department. Shout out to Merrick. And him and I got on. We heard the call come in. We took off, and by the time we got downstairs to the rig, because we no longer had the tower in the rig, our dispatch told us that he lost his second engine. And I'm just telling you, just watching this aircraft just go from here to here and into the brush line, it was just game over. Let's go. Now we had to hurry up and find this guy. So
and you're not just putting and when you think of a fireman at that works at the airport, you're thinking fire automatically.
No.
You're not just responding just to fire.
Yeah, it was pretty
rescue.
much rescue.
You got to get in there and go get this guy out.
Yeah,
So,
because the title of our it's an acronym, ARF, Airport Rescue Firefighting. So that's what the ARF stands for. So it's like the rescue part in there too. So we're always if we're not doing firefighting, we're doing rescue, and it's all affiliated with the airports. So
does that mix with? I assume, of course, with passengers, not just.
Yes,
it's everybody.
It's everybody.
It's everyone. You're who they're calling when something happens at Republic.
Yes, because they train us. We go. They send us away to schooling. I didn't mention that before. Even though my 20 years as being a fireman, all of us had to go away to fire school for aviation fire.
Yeah, which is totally different.
It's totally different because the avgas and the Jet A. But I went away to Rochester. There's an academy in Rochester. They sent me and a buddy, a couple of us away. There's academies all over the world, but they pretty much sent us to Rochester, and we went there and we learned, how to properly enter an aircraft, how to properly egress from an aircraft, and how to properly put water down on an aircraft that's on fire, for the most part. But sorry. But yeah, so just to jump back into that, just the negligence of all that, all the emergencies I responded to, it's just all pretty much negligence. It was,
and that's
that's what it is. Like pretty much, it's just like a pilot will never put the blame on themselves. They try to pass it to somebody else, and that's cool. I mean, who doesn't?
Now, I guess my question would be: is this because you're at Republic? Like, if you get which you're going to,
I hope so. Yes.
Get over to MacArthur.
Yes.
Will that then change? Then meaning like it wouldn't be so much negligence because now this is a different airport. This is an actual commercial airport.
Yeah.
Will those things change? Like,
I mean,
what happens more at there? I know you're not there, but what could happen more there that you would see?
I feel like anywhere in the world, it's negligence on everybody's part. So like, it's not just like the airport. It's not just pilots. People, even myself, negligence and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll skip something, and like it's just be mindful. Like if you're gonna do something like that, and you're taking off in an aircraft, there's families, there's houses that you could potentially add to casualties. So every day somebody's doing something negligent, and knock on wood, I hope it never comes back to bite me.
I hope, man. Listen, negligence with an airplane is
it's no joke. Like you can run out of gas in a car, you can't run out and just pull over. Like it's like I'm afraid to run out of gas on my motorcycle sometimes. Like it's like that's 2 wheels.
Yeah,
like that's not.
Imagine up in the air.
Up in the air, like
I don't
bro.
have any gas.
I don't have any gas. Like I'm on E. Like I got no. Like you can glide only so far, bro. So
and then that's it.
That's game over. But just to jump back to MacArthur, I don't know MacArthur's how they handle things out there. I know they do run as Aviation Fire Department, and they have a Class A pumper where they can respond outside the airport as well. We do as well, but they have a Class A pumper.
How about, because I'm pretty sure as me as well as listeners, how about JFK and LaGuardia? Is that FDNY?
No.
Or is that another sector?
That JFK, LaGuardia, and Newark, they're all pretty much Port Authority.
Okay,
so it's Port Authority. It's like, police/fire or whatever they want to do, vice versa. No, that's where I work for right now. My job now is a private company that hires firemen or aviation knowledgeable people, and they send us to school to become firemen for the airport, and we're there 24/7. So MacArthur is a civil service gig, and that's what I'm trying to get onto next. So,
you got that.
I hope so.
You're gonna get in there. So, and I know we kind of touched on this question before, but just if you could just elaborate a little bit more. Like, again, we move from we're volunteers, especially me, but then you move to the paid. Like, what made you say, I want to do the paid? I know the story of how you got it. But what made you say, I want this to be my life? Like, this is what I want to do.
I always didn't know. Honestly, I love being a volley. The volley was fun. It is still fun. The paid came at me, just the things that I knew I could probably bring to the table at the airport. Because it's, again, my airport's not that big of an airport, not that busy of an airport, not a lot of experienced firemen. And not to knock anybody who I work with, but just the fact that I love to train. I have some experience that I can bring to the table firematically. But one of the biggest decisions to go paid was money, man. Let me tell you. Like, we live on Long Island, bro. We live on Long Island. Like, I love my airport. I love my airport now. It's 15 minutes away from my home, and but MacArthur's about an hour or so away from me. That's more money too. So don't get me wrong. I love my skills. I love my guys at work. I love training, but we live on Long Island, bro.
And I gotta pay. I got a house. Again, I got kids.
Mortgage ain't no joke. I know, and my kids play sports too, so it's no joke.
It's no joke paying for that. All right, so people that are listening, they're either firemen or want to become firemen or anything like that. What is a piece of information or advice you can give to someone that is just starting out or is thinking about starting out?
Definitely.
And then wanting to move to the next step. What's a good piece of advice?
Well, just as a brand new volley fireman, or if you happen to take the civil service test and become a paid guy, listen to the senior man. Take any advice you could. No disrespect, but be seen, not heard. And that means just. Not in a disrespectful way, but just be seen, not heard, as in if somebody's talking and trying to pass you advice, just take it all in. Be a sponge. Nowadays a lot of these young guys come in like they know it all already, and it's just like, listen, when I first got in here, I was mopping floors, I was cleaning bathrooms, I was doing it. Nowadays I see a lot of these these firehouses have paid house cleaners, like
it's like,
paid house cleaners.
Where was this at when I was?
Probably don't got to mop the floors. And I said, so just be a sponge, man. Just take it all in, and take every civil service test you got, even if it's not the fire department. Just take it, man. Have a backup plan. You always want a backup plan, and just stay focused.
That's a fact. I love that. Stay focused. You heard that.
Stay focused.
From Darnell, stay focused. All right, so I got a couple more questions.
Go for
it. First, I want to know something. What is a common myth about firefighters that you'd like to debunk right now?
Common myth?
There's a lot of common myths of this and that. So what's something that you would want to debunk right now for the listeners?
What am I debunking right now? Oh, man, that dang calendar. You know those FDNY calendars, guys? Not all of us are built like that, guy. Like, not all of us, ladies and gentlemen, not all of us are built like that.
So y'all can see.
Yeah, there's not, like, listen, I wear dark colors and shirts all the time. You never, there's no sick pack. I'm gonna go set my house on fire so a fireman can show up, bro. I'm telling you, you're not gonna be happy. You are not gonna be happy when we show up to your house and we look nothing like the calendar. You just wasted all that fire insurance for no reason. Because we are coming and we ain't pretty.
No, we'll get the job done.
We'll get the job done. Ain't gonna be pretty. I'm telling you, because once that fire's out, we gotta take our jackets off, and it's gonna be bellies hanging out.
There you go.
I'm telling you, the ladies and gentlemen, don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. The calendar
I'm
is not
debunking that calendar. And all those TV shows out there, I'm debunking any of that stuff too. We do not look like that. We are coming, but we ain't pretty. The prettiest things about us is our rigs. That's about it.
That's right.
The prettiest things about us firemen are our rigs. I'm telling you, it's not happening.
Brand new clean tape and tape tool. That's the prettiest thing. All right. So talking about movies, listen.
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
First, before we even get into that, we play a game that is called the Flashover.
Okay.
So basically, the Flashover is I'll give you two